how did you jump from being an undergraduate researcher to being a lab tech?
So I was doing research as an undergrad, and I was graduating, so I was looking for a job. And our old lab tech, Robert, told me that, he was planning on going to grad school, and that so they would need a new lab tech. And they were looking for someone that, had experience working in the lab, like knew kind of where things were and had some training. So I was like, that's me. So I applied, but unfortunately with COVID, then the university went on a hiring freeze. But in the fall, Professor Bergland told me that they were still looking for a lab tech, and I was like, I'm not doing anything. So I put my application in, and then I became a lab tech.
So what's your day-to-day job as a lab tech?
Well, depends on the week. A lot of it is lab maintenance. So usually I come in at 9. Right now I'm doing media changes. So that's a lot of like making media, checking to make sure everything's working properly. The Daphnia are okay. Needs anything ordered. On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, some of the grad students come in and I help them with their projects, like this mesocosm looks really algae-y, like we should probably change it, things like that.
What's your project these days?
Yeah, so I am looking at male production, like the weekly proportion of males produced for 2 different clones that we've been studying for the past year and a half in our lab. Like one clone is supposed to be producing more males than the other. So just kind of seeing what the week-to-week fluctuations in male productions are.
What do you feel like you've learned from being a lab tech that's different from just being an undergraduate or graduate researcher?
I've definitely had to, manage. I've had to have my fingers in more pies than I did as an undergraduate. As an undergraduate, I was kind of just like doing my experiment and, talking with like a couple of the people on the Daphnia side. But as a lab tech, I'm kind of like doing media changes, but also doing research while also, talking to people on the fly side. And I've also started doing some work on the fly side as well as the Daphnia side. So like learning new skills there, like IDing and, like the day-to-day activities instead of just focusing on my project.
And how do you think you'll carry your experience as a lab tech into your graduate work moving forward?
Yeah, well, I think as a grad student that it's really important that you can manage multiple things at once, and also have like a understanding of how the lab works and like what it takes to be a part of a whole, like full time in the lab instead of just an undergraduate who kind of like pops in and out from time to time. But yeah, I think definitely like the multiple fingers in the pie analogy really will help carry me forward into grad school.
And you're not going to stay with Daphnia or flies, you're moving into a new research area.
I am, yeah. I'm moving into working with pollinators. So working with the flies has actually been pretty useful. I've started IDing them, and obviously it's not the same as IDing bee species, but the concepts behind it remain the same.